On this episode of Real Estate on the Rocks, we're going to give you 5 secrets to stay more consistently consistent.
Welcome to Real Estate on the Rocks, where you get top shelf real estate conversations served straight up, never watered down. Here's your host, Dave Snowberger.
That's right. We're back in the studio. Tomorrow's actually Wednesday, but I don't know when you're going to listen to this podcast. So
Happy Tuesday.
Just know that we're recording on Tuesday, and tomorrow you're going to listen to it. And that's Wednesday. So happy Wednesday. So real quick, if you don't mind, go ahead and hit that I can't talk. Hit that subscribe button down there. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. And if you're feeling up to it, leave us a 5-star review. We certainly appreciate it. And we want to knock out some bills real quick. So we want to pay homage to our man over at Guaranteed Rate Mortgage. His name is Mike Harrell. You can reach him at Magic Mike at 88000. Every time I say that, the whole studio just kind of like looks at me like they're about to bust out laughing here. So it's Magic Mike. We thought that was a very good and memorable name we can give him, and it's easy to get in touch with him if you have any lending needs here around the Texas area. So Mike Harrell with Guaranteed Rate. Look him up on Facebook, friend him, become his friend, follow him. He's a very interesting guy. So let's get on to it. Today we're going to talk a little bit about 5 secrets to be more consistently consistent. Okay, so this is a topic that I'm always talking about, because if there's one thing that we're consistent about, it's being inconsistent. All right. So you guys know that real. I'm always harping on it. You know, it's like we're agents just like our listeners. You know, yep. We get that shiny object syndrome, and we're always kind of like, ooh, look, squirrel, and we go down another path and take off. I feel like I just stole Marshall's line. He wanted to say
he jumped in that mic
so bad.
I had one line.
So the 5 secrets to be more consistently consistent. Okay. Let's go ahead and break it off with number 1 is keep your eye on the why. Right. So that rhymes. That's an easy one. Number 1, keep your eye on the why. So typically we all know why we're doing this. Or if we don't have a why, we need to come up with really kind of why do we do this every day? Why do we show up every single day? Hop out of bed, shower up, get to the office, or get to the couch, or get to the bar. The bar at your home. Yeah. I'm picturing my bar, kitchen like bar. My island.
Hey, you go have a bar if you want to.
Teacher's own, right over, 5 o'clock somewhere. So, belly up to the bar and break open your laptop and start, we wake up unemployed every single day, right? So consistently we wake up every day unemployed, and it's our job to go out and find new clients, to talk to maybe some of our old ones and things like that. But keep your eye on the why. So why are you doing this every single day? Number 2. I do like this one. Pick your battle. Pick your battle. Right. I didn't say singular. Battles. Right. Yep. Singular battle. So pick one thing that is going to help you get to your why you're doing this every single day. Yep. As agents, we're always just kind of wearing a lot of different hats. We're marketers, we're podcasters, we're, YouTubers, we're on video editors. We're on top of everything else. We sell homes to people. We're ingrained in the transactions of everyday people, where we're trying to help them, solve all their problems of buying the biggest purchase of their lives, right? So we're involved into that. So we have a bunch of different jobs, right? But there's one thing that we have to stay consistent with, and that's up to you. We don't get to tell you what to do there. So out of all the forms of lead generation or whatever else, you need to stay consistent at one. What are you going to go up and battle against every single day? James, what's your battle that you've picked that you go out and do every single day consistently? I can answer that for you if you want.
Every single day consistently? I don't think I've done anything every single day consistently, except show up and work on something in the business. But I squirrel a lot. That's something I've always struggled with my entire life. But there's certain things that we go for. Obviously we do our open houses. We work on FSBOs and expireds and stuff like that, and work in our databases.
So we consistently lead gen.
Yeah.
But we're all over the road where we do it.
Yeah. And then we're adding, I think because we like to do a lot of stuff, we're a little bit more spread out than most people, because we want to build an apparatus around our, how we're creating our inbound leads. We want to have the videos. We want to have, the marketing. We want to have the whole brand around or like digital mayor marketing kind of concept. So that's what we focus on. So it takes a little bit more than I'd say most people.
And the reason why we do it is no one knows ourselves better than us. And then we can go learn this stuff and really kind of leverage it. We don't have to spend a bunch of money out in the, we've bought fancy cameras. We've bought all this cool software. We've done all these things, and we learned it consistently by doing video consistently that we just need our iPhones. Or I'm sorry, what's his face over here? Marshall Tucker guy's a droid guy, so he's the only droid guy at the table.
Well, maybe all over the place on the lead gen, but we're pretty consistent about follow-ups, or at least I am.
Yeah, you kill the game at follow-ups. I mean, you really kill the game at working your database out of everybody that we have. I mean, but that's not really my job. That's not my forte, right? So I'm out and I talk to my people all the time, but I don't work my database systematically like you do. That works for you, right? And so a lot of my time is spent on the new stuff that's coming in, is like lead generation and
all the fun, exciting stuff.
Right? all the stuff that spends all the damn money is really what I'm consistent in spending money. There you go.
True that.
Right, so pick your battles. Like, know what that is. So mine every day is really just to show up on time every single day and do the things that I don't really want to do when I don't want to do them. However, that's really going to segue into don't prioritize your schedule. Schedule your priorities, right? And so that's one thing that we've done for a while is we prioritize our schedule, and we kind of had to start looking at that a different way and really kind of schedule our priorities. And our priorities come first, and our priorities are what? Lead gen.
Yeah.
Right. And
that was one of the things I first learned, and I didn't, because you go through life without being really focused on your schedule for most careers. And so you just kind of, go with things as they come up and you put those in. And it's fine when you're not doing anything, but as things progress and you have more things going on, when they say like if it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. They're not joking. They're not saying that, tongue in cheek. They literally mean you're going to forget it and you're going to regret that you forgot it because you didn't take the time to write it in on a calendar. Yeah. So now I even tell anyone who's scheduling a meeting or they want to do a demo for us or whatever, like, all right, sure, we can do that. Send me a calendar invite. My finance guy who handles all the retirement stuff, he wants to set up meetings. Okay. And before I even tell him, he's like, I'll send you a calendar invite. I was like, okay, because I'm not going to be there. You'd just be hanging out by yourself.
Once again, that's something Marshall's great at, is the calendar invites. Everything he does, like he knows that he's got to lock me down, so he sends me an invite.
As long as people actually reply to the calendar invite.
I stepped up my calendar invite game because Marshall was like, no, you do this, send them the invite, include everybody, the time, do like fill out all the stuff, and send it to them. And I got so many better.
I'm still the worst at the calendar stuff.
I mean, it still goes on your calendar. It's just it's up to them now to accept it and put it on theirs.
Yeah,
so if they don't do
like
that,
I have people book like coaching consultations with me, through Calendly, and I see him, and then I'm like, oops, I forget to say accept, and then it comes like 10, 15 minutes till, and somebody will have to remind me what I'm doing, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I do special notes in the calendar too, so if someone says,
I do 5 reminders all the way up to 5 minutes away.
Call me back in 2 weeks. I'll put it on the calendar, as a separate note, just to make sure it kind of tings me in the morning there to call. Tings, bings, I don't know.
He's got an Android. You never know what's going to happen with that.
Exactly. It's going to work. All right. So a lot of the times we talk about lead gen, and your battle's got to be lead gen. So I think part of the battle with that is really that you're having to, number 4 here is ignore your feelings. Ignore the voices that are telling you to put whatever you need to be doing off. Right. Yeah. And so if you need to be, scheduling some time for lead gen and scheduling your priorities or, in the morning, that's the worst time. That's the time that your head will tell you there's something else better for you to do. You really need to get into Facebook and scroll down real quick and see if there's any referral possibilities out there. You really need to go like 5 people's birthdays and this and that and this. You need to go to all those things. Don't call those for sale by owners. Don't call those expired or withdrawals. We can do that later on, or just kind of like certainly guaranteeing that, if I do this now, then I can call those later. I'll do it after 5 o'clock today. And then 5 o'clock rolls around. Steve Full calls you and wants to go out for a beer, and then it's,
I'm a can kicker.
Then it's Friday and you're in Mexico. It's kind of like, what the hell? What happened to my lead gen? What happened to Tuesday?
Steve's like, don't worry, you got that when you get back.
He won't even be there when you wake up. He's just gone.
Right. He's like, remember, man, I'm a millionaire. I was like, yeah, but what's that do for me? So number 5 here, let's kick it on to number 5 real quick. Don't have an all or nothing attitude. If you miss one day, it's okay. If you fall off the wagon, just run back up to it and get on it. You know, I mean, so, you know, I do this a lot with dieting.
I was gonna say,
you know,
me too.
yeah. So it's the dieting thing. It's so I, you know, Friday rolls around or Saturday rolls around. It's just kind of like everybody else is having fun. I've been doing keto all week, no carbs all week, and everything's going really well. But man, I just look at people and like, oh, what if, you know, and just
Having a beer, Dave. You
I
want to have a beer?
I want one of those beers. Yeah, I want one of those beers, and maybe, you know, one of these cupcakes at this birthday party or whatever. And it's like,
birthday cake.
then you do it, right? And so it's certainly okay that you do it, but then the next day you kind of justify, you know, waking up and going to breakfast somewhere and having breakfast tacos and queso and chips. And so it's just kind of, you know, there you go.
Marshall's over here like daydreaming about the weekend brunch.
He's slobbering all over the microphone over there.
Mimosa. Yes.
So it's, and then you just kind of, all of a sudden you've lost it. So now you go 3 or 4 days because you're like, oh, I just screwed up one day. And one thing that I've gotten really actually consistent about is that if I do wind up going to a Texas game and having a couple beers that night, that the next morning I just kick it right back into high gear. You know, I get up in the morning, I pop my B12s, you know, and do all this other, you know, just exercise, whatever else, try to get all that crap out of my system. And it's right back to the keto diet, you know, because it's important to me. So, however, but it's also important for me to, you know, be able to have nice things and be able to drink a beer every once in a while with my buddies, or go to the Texas game and enjoy it, or go watch the Astros game tonight, go Stros, you know, and be able to have a beer and not really guilt myself so bad. You know, I think we got off the track here because this is really doing towards business. However, I was just giving you an example about drinking. So if you go one day without
drinking,
if you go one day and you miss calling the new for sale by owners, it's okay. You can go ahead. They'll be there tomorrow as well. You know, some of them might have already listed with somebody. Some of them might have already sold to another, you know, to a buyer, achieve their goals of selling to an actual buyer. However, I doubt it. But just start the next day and hit it again. Come in with the right mindset. So, you know, you have to change your mindset into, you know, these things aren't going to affect you. You're not going to, just because you missed one day doesn't mean your week's ruined. You know, and I see agents do that a lot. It's like, well, I missed Tuesday and Wednesday, so I just went ahead and said, screw it. And I didn't come to the office Thursday or Friday. I'll be back Monday.
Yeah.
I'll be back Monday.
Monday's a holiday day.
Yeah.
Skipping the weekend, or skipping all those weekdays and the weekend, and then starting the following week. Oh,
yeah. So those are really
a lot in the old office. Sometimes you see somebody like miss a day, and then boom, they're gone for like a week. And you're like, you just missed like one day. Like,
no, what agents are really good at? What agents are really good at? And I was like this certainly when I was just a free spirit, you know, out in the when I was a new agent, free spirit. It's just kind of like I would do one deal, you know, after of course my first year of just tanking. I would get a deal going and I'd get it under contract, and then all of a sudden it was like cool, and then I get maybe another one, and they close right about, you know, right next to each other. And these are these ebbs and flows we always talk about, you know. I'd have a nice paycheck, you know, somewhere between, or 2 paychecks with $7,000 each, you know, to me. So I'd have 14 grand, and all of a sudden it's like I have 14 grand in my pocket, not a lot of debt, you know, and just kind of like, woo, I'm rich. You know, and I'd get out there and start spending money. I'd have to buy another laptop. You know, I would need something else for the business. It would have to be another laptop or an iPad, right? Or I need the latest Apple Watch, or, you know, maybe I need this, I need that. Just kind of like, maybe I need something for my truck, you know, and just kind of like all this goofy stuff. And I'd piss away all my money, and I wouldn't lead generate at all. All the money would be gone. And it's just like, oops, now I got to start over again. And so, you know, you're certainly away minimum 30 days, but it usually the rule of thumb is about 60 to 90 days out before you have any more money. And it's just like, man, I just had 14 grand. Where did it go? That was my thing. And I was consistent at doing that the second year, you know, and then I just really kind of, you know, half-assedly was selling enough to win the Rookie of the Year. And I was just doing enough to outperform the next guy, you know? But I was consistently doing my lead gen is what was paying off after that first time where I first got that big lump sum of money, you know? And then I started doing lead gen a little bit more consistently and nailing it down. So that's where I learned the power of consistency. But then through this 5-6 years later, we all go through this every single day. We see it because it's this businesses, we know it's monotonous. You know, it's the same thing over and over. It's the non-sexy stuff that writes the paychecks. You know, it's the making the phone calls and doing the follow-ups and writing the ad copy and you know, testing out things that we don't know if they're going to work or not, spending money in good faith that hopefully they're going to work, or trusting in a lead source that if we invest in it, that it's going to return something. And then we find out that every lead source we've ever poured money into is I would have had more fun just lighting the money on fire.
Yeah.
You know, like literally taking all the money and just pouring it in a pile and lighting it on fire would have been much more productive than giving it to these people that are laughing all the way to the bank while we sit there and we think that we're going to get leads. So when we started learning how to fish for ourselves, I would say that there's a lot more consistency came in that. However, there was still a lot of inconsistencies in that flow. So you're shaking your head that you agree with me, Marshall. Touch on that a little bit for me.
What? I'm looking at my notes. No, I mean, they're all the same as far as we started realizing that they're just doing the same Google AdWords, the same pay-per-clicks that we do ourselves, that we can run our own ads. So why are we paying a middleman to do the same thing?
Right. And so, yeah, I mean, that was the only thing with Facebook. I mean, people, a lot of times I was talking about all the time that people would ask, hey, how are you having some of the success you're having? And I would say Facebook. They're like, oh, Facebook ads. And I was like, no.
Organic.
No, not even organic, not even ads. I was just standing out a lot. I was just doing a lot of stuff saying, hey, look at me over here. And I was consistently doing the video over and over for every listing I was taking, and that was bringing more attention. So if you grab people's attention, like Cardone says, attention is money. If you grab people's attention, that's where the money is, and I kept doing that consistently over and over again. And then when I had a little bit of success doing that and I was listing 20 homes a month around, it was just kind of like, I stopped doing those things that got me all those listings, and then I relied on other sources to get me the listings, which was just really kind of repeat customers or referral agreements, and then those started dwindling down. And so we'd have to kick up the video again and do all those things. And we see that consistency is the key in everything that we do. And we also see that inconsistencies that we for our lead gen is what kills our productivity and creates the ebbs and flows. Yeah. And so we've been a lot more purposeful about staying consistent.
If you can do something, it doesn't necessarily have to be beating the phones every single day. If you're doing it majority of the time, but you're also doing touches like you're posting videos, you're engaging with other people, and then you're coming up in their peripheral in some form or fashion where they can see you and know you're still there is what's going to win over, obviously win over the long run, because you're still keeping that top of mind awareness through some form or fashion. And you're also kind of preventing, mixing it up a little bit, but doing kind of the same general stuff. It's just like you go and hanging out with friends. They're going to remember you more than the person you hang out with once every couple of months or once a year.
Certainly.
So I think that's a way to kind of supplement it, to try and kind of keep the flow going, which has worked really well for you guys. Before I obviously joined the team is what kept you in the move, kept you moving forward, was just saying hi to people, just engaging.
Right. And I mean, that's still 90% of my game plan. 93% of my game plan is just to, stay omnipresent in people's eyes and drop real estate where I can. I don't talk a lot about on my personal pages or anything like that about real estate. Sometimes I throw out a video of how a new listing I just got that's coming soon with no pictures. This is just to gauge kind of people's interaction with me. And it's really, I'm not really telling them about the listing. I'm not intending to sell the listing with anything that I'm talking about. I'm intending to show everybody out there that's paying attention to me that I sell real estate. Yeah. That if they need me, I'm here. And if they think about real estate, I want my name to pop in their head. When you think about toothpaste, one or two names come up rather quickly. If you think about laundry detergent, one or two names, right? Yeah. I usually do this exercise with realtors and tell me, name 3 realtors right now. And they always name the best person in their marketplace or the top producing agent in the marketplace. Then they name one more and they say, on the third one, right? And they never realize that they could have just said me, you, and Marshall over there. It's just kind of just nobody ever does that. And especially when they set up this thing, because I always do this exercise about top of mind awareness, and I always do this with people. And every time we get an opportunity to speak somewhere, I always bring it up and talk about top of mind awareness, because this is what rules the day, is that when people hear the word real estate, that needs to just ring like a bell in their head, like ping, ooh, I know. And just drop the first realtor that comes to their mind, and you want that to be you. So that's what I'm always doing I've stayed consistent at least at doing that. And there's something with my message that I've ingrained in my head that I'm always kind of touching on real estate a little bit. People in our neighborhood Facebook click. No, I'm like 93.7. So, and so there's people on our Facebook page, right, that say they ask for movers, right? And so a lot of people just sometimes volley up movers, right? So I would go with Mighty Might Movers, right? And so Mighty Might Movers. What do you say? You would too?
I would too.
So I go with Mighty Might Movers, and and just I do say Mighty Might, but I say I refer all my clients to Mighty Might Movers, right? And so now that piques the person who asked the question and anybody else in the thread that's reading it. Clients, what's this guy do? And all of a sudden they click on my thing, right? And so I know that within the first 5 posts, there will be something real estate related on there. So they can certainly see, or they can read my little bio real quick and says that I'm a real estate coach, I'm a real estate team leader, and I'm,
I think it's more powerful too, because you know, clients, not just one person.
Right. And then I've got the Wilco Eats thing on there, and then they stumble. You know how it goes when you start clicking on stuff. You just fall down that rabbit hole. You know, that
Facebook's
trail.
so good for that.
Right. And so, the next thing you know,
like, Dave, that was a great meal you had.
He wasn't consistent with his diet.
I talk to people all the time. Yeah, exactly.
Get some stranger like, how did you find my page?
A lot of people don't know, and I'll give you the secret. You guys know this, but anybody listening that follows our Wilco Eats or looks at Wilco Eats, like a lot of the things that I post, 90%, 93%, 93.7 rule, 93% of everything on my Facebook, I don't eat. Unless it's barbecue. What'd you say?
James or my food.
Exactly. Usually it's your food. But usually if they're sandwiches, big old sandwiches, they're James's.
It's a giant meal.
He gets the biggest sandwiches known to man.
And you get yelled at for it. I didn't eat it.
That's why I always got to face Nicole when I get home. She's just like, oh, I thought we were dieting. I was just like, we are. What are you talking about? I've seen your Facebook. It's just like,
Pinned to the top.
Yeah, I was like, that's not mine. She goes, oh yeah, sure. And I'm like, look, I have to open my phone. I'm like, here's my meal. Here's Marshall's meal. Here's James's meal. Here's everybody's meals. Like I just take pictures of every's food. This is kind of like my second hobby, job, whatever. So
that cracks me up. Hannah's like, what is wrong with you? Like, why would you eat that much food? I'm like, I don't know. It looked really good. She's like, you're a mess.
Yep.
One heart attack grill burger.
Oh my God, the heart attack grill burger. If you haven't seen that on Wilco Eats, go check out the heart attack grill time. We all went to Vegas for EXP Con. And we stopped by the Heart Attack Grill, and oh my gosh, Marshall ate a single like a smart person. Yeah, we all had the quadruple bypass. So that was pretty. And
then Marshall's brilliant idea when he's like, "Oh, let's get a drink," and in my head I'm like, "Vodka 7 would be great," because my stomach is like 9 times bigger than it should be, and so we get up there and waiting for you to finish, and he's like, "Ask for 2 IPAs." And I look at him like, why would you order an IPA?
Single patty boy.
I was like, bro, I was gonna get a vodka 7. He's like, you should have ordered faster then. I'm like, what? I was like, it was like middle finger to me. So I drank the IPA. Was really good, but oh my God, my stomach felt worse than it was after we finished eating.
Rolling him down pretty much.
Yeah. Oh my God, I almost died again.
Cold IPA sounds pretty good.
I know, it was really
all
good.
right, man. Well, we talked about the 5 secrets to be more consistently consistent. Consistency is key. Stay consistent at the things that you do. Narrow down. We'll summarize real quick. Keep your eye on your why. Pick your battle. Pick your one thing and stick with it. Make it a habit. Don't prioritize your schedule. Schedule your priorities for sure. Ignore your feelings. Typically, you want to listen to your feelings. You want to listen to your gut, things like that. However, when it comes to lead generation, you're wrong. Your gut's wrong. You need to be doing the things you don't want to do when you don't want to do them at the highest level possible, and that will pay dividends for you. And don't have an all or nothing attitude. Just remember that if you don't do something one day, just hop right back on the wagon the next day, and just keep it going. These consistencies, these 5 secrets right here, they're not necessarily secrets. However, if you apply these 3 things, these 5 things, and you think about what you're doing every single day, and you pick that battle, and you pick the right battle, you will start to see more consistent results. That's the goal here. And so this podcast is aimed typically at that newer agent, some agents returning to the business, or maybe some agents that have been around for a while that are struggling with their business. Staying consistent is the key to this whole thing. So we really appreciate you listening to us today. We'll be back in the studio in the next couple of days with some great episodes and some great guests coming up. So we really appreciate it. Like I said, if you can do us that favor of smashing that 5-star button and leaving us a quick review, we'd certainly appreciate it. We can keep this thing going. And if you need to reach out to us, you can reach us at Top Shelf. All you got to do is text that to Top Shelf to 88000. And once again, if you're EXP curious, we are EXP agents, and we're always trying to spread the word. It's join EXP to 88000. We certainly appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
I'm out.